Hello folks, how are we doing? It's the countdown to kick-off show. Apologies there, that was the wrong intro clip that was included there, so I don't know why that happened there. That was a Sports Unplugged one, so we'll get that sorted for next time. Apologies for the lateness. Me and Daz were just running about there trying to sort the ticker and a few other things, but just we're ready to go, and thanks for waiting in the comments. Daz, how are you doing today, mate?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, really looking forward to this one. Sunshine's out, football's back, fans are back. It's just in a true encounter, isn't it? This one, it's so hard to call. Two unbelievable teams, two of the elite coaches in world football at the moment, and two of the elite teams, you know what I mean? So it's Liverpool, Chelsea. I seen a stat coming into this that just behind United, Chelsea are going for their 600 Premier League win today. Only United have got there quicker. But we're also going for a stat as well today. We're looking to get for our fourth season consecutively our first 3 wins of the season, of the Premier League season. So there's stats coming into it. There's records to be broken. I'm just hoping it's going to be good.
Stats, just before we get into some other stats, I've got a good start here for you, just before we forget, because me and Daz have been notorious for forgetting this. So just to like to say, the video today is proudly sponsored by Manscaped. With this sponsor, you can get a 20% discount at the checkout on Manscaped with the LFC DT. If you type that in, and it'll give you 20% off and free shipping. So as I say, go and head over to Manscaped. I think I'm going to do it this week, to be honest, Daz, because let's just say my current one has given me a few nicks recently, so I would recommend Manscaped. I've heard great things, and I hope I'll get one this week. So yeah, everyone head over to Manscaped. Absolutely. So Daz, back on Chelsea, what we're feeling with the lineup we've got at the bottom of the screen, and what's the thoughts towards that?
Surprising. I think the one surprise really is Elliott. I expected for the first time since Thiago's come in there was going to be a midfielder. Fabinho, Henderson, Thiago, they haven't started. I just thought because it's a big game. I think this was a game that we were looking at, that they were going to be the 3 that's going to be a midfield, where we delay Fabinho, come back Henderson, obviously because the Copa America Euros and Thiago coming back. But Harvey Elliott, probably the closest player we've had to Coutinho-esque since he's left. So look, he's been incredible, hasn't he, in the last game for us? He had intensity, his creativity, hard work, just played with no fear. But still surprised to see him coming in a game of this magnitude and to start. But I mean, if he lives up to it today and he comes out like he did last week at Burnley with a really good performance again under his belt, then I mean, sky is definitely the limit for him. But no doubt about it, potentially going to be world class, this kid. But surprised he's come in start today and no Thiago or Naby Keita. What do you make of it, Conroy? Are you surprised too?
I absolutely, mate. I'm going to be a bit more ruthless with this. Listen, I hope it works out great, and it's not the Alan Hansen, or is it? If you're old enough, you're good enough. It's not about that. I just don't think he's the right option for midfield today. Chelsea have got a good midfield, and I just feel like I just think other options in our team would have been better today. Simple as that. Nothing to do with his age. Just on his ability right now, a lot of potential, but I'm a bit worried that today, just as a football player, not his age, just as a football player, he's still got to develop certain areas, and I feel like today it might be a lot, because our midfield is going to be very important today. You've got, apologies, is Chelsea, is it Jorginho and Kovacic starting? If someone in the comments can let me know. I don't know who the other midfield. It might be Kante actually and Jorginho. I mean, they've bossed a lot of teams with that midfield, especially. So I've got to be honest, I'm a little bit wary at Elliott. I thought I would have went for Keita, who's actually done previously well against Chelsea in the past, or even put Thiago in there. Yeah, I don't agree with it, to be honest, guys. I don't agree with it. Listen, I'm not Jurgen Klopp, but I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, because I can see that not working. So we'll see what happens. I think there's a few comments agreeing with that. It'd be interesting to see the chat. I'll go through that now. Kevin Ball saying, I agree, Connor, I don't think he's ready yet. And the thing is, mate, it's like, I'm not harping on about the age. I just think as a player, that's not the right move today to play him, just for against Chelsea. Do you feel that what chance do you think he can there's always a chance, obviously, and he showed his worth, but Burnley's a whole different game to Chelsea, Daz. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, well, there's more pressure on him as well today coming into this game. This is a game where, like, I suppose Burnley was his first start for us competitively, his first league start, and he played with no fear. He was really good, I have to say. As I said, he was very hard working, very creative, and the lads around him wanted to give him the ball. You could see there was a lot of trust there, not him just getting the start, but how he played the game. But yeah, it's coming into a game at this magnitude. I said Chelsea, like, you know, this is going to be one of, this is for me the biggest game at Anfield that we are playing today since we beat Man City 3-1 in November 2019. That day we went 8 points ahead of them, clear. And we got the team selection right today. We are bang on at the start. Look what we're going to have to be today. We have to have that urgency, that aggression, that intensity, that energy. Harvey Elliott in there, it's a huge call. But look, Conroy, as you said, we're not Jurgen Klopp, and Klopp, you know, he will feel it's a gamble worth taking. Obviously, that's why he's picked him ahead of Thiago, ahead of Naby Keita, even Oxlade-Chamberlain there. Bench looks really strong today. It just shows we have a bit of depth that some people have been critical of that of late. But it's the talking point. It could be an unbelievable thing today if Harvey comes out today and does unbelievably well, which I wouldn't put it past him doing either. But it's just, I believe these big games are always won in midfield, and I am slightly concerned coming into today's game that Elliott is in there ahead of the two lads I've mentioned, Naby Keita and Thiago. I mean, this game was made, I thought, for Thiago with the experience, the football arrogance he has, how good he is, and he lives up to these big games. And how he finished the end of last season for us, I thought he was a pivotal part in us getting over the line into not just getting top four, but finishing third. And to see him now not have started since he come back, I don't know, it must be something with training. Maybe Harvey's just completely blown everybody away and is better than what we're even hearing. So hopefully that's the case, and hopefully the lad does deliver today. But it's such a big ask from today, isn't it, against an unbelievable side in Chelsea?
No, it absolutely does. I think the point, it's Finner saying, shout out Finn, thanks for the comment, mate. He's saying the last two games we've went with the 1-6 and 2-8s, and today that is inverted. We think it's inverted, mate. To be honest, I don't believe any formation on that app until I see, because there's numerous times Liverpool before it says that, and that's not what happens. But I think you might be right, that could be the case today. It's just an interesting one. Like, there's another comment here. Now, I'm not kind of harping on about this point, Daz, but someone was saying, so I'll just check the comment there. It was like Dynamo Kev. I don't think Harvey will be phased with it. I don't, but really, mate, it's not the point. I mean him as a player, the type of player he is. I think there's other midfielders would have suited this game better. Like, as I say, Norwich, Burnley at home is one thing. Chelsea, who've just the champions, European champions. Yeah, I think it's a mistake, to be honest.
And I think, as you said, you mentioned a while ago, Naby Keita's done really get well in the past against Chelsea. That game where he scored a world-class goal when we got the trophy lift, we won 5-3. A lot of them played really well on midfield that day, but Naby looks like he's back. There's a bit of sharpness about him there, and he's not getting into the team. Like, so when he's fit, he's finding it hard even to struggle to get in. But we talk about his availability being key, and he's needed for us. No doubt he will play a pivotal and big role in a lot of games for us this season if he is fit. But I thought this was going to be a toss between Naby and Thiago because of the magnitude of the game. But look, we'll just wait and see what happens. I just look, it's 50-50 for me today, this one. It's so hard to call. What's your overall thoughts coming in now today with the fans, as I mentioned, being back? We have the 12th man, the Anfield factor. It's going to be huge. As I said, the sun shines out at Anfield. I think it's 20 degrees or whatever have you over there. It's made in some respect for a big performance in Liverpool, isn't it? But Chelsea are so strong defensively, so good all round, that they're going to make a really hard work for us today, I think. Would you agree, Conroy?
I think sorry, mate, there was something outside there. It was flying by. Can you hear me okay? It was like a
lorry. No,
perfect. It's a buzzing. I don't know, there's roadworks outside. Just started today, of course. And it's not the cat this time. Maui's asleep on the couch. So if anyone's thinking about the reindeer coming in, she's asleep, right? I've had to take her collar off her a few times the last couple of days because of that bloody ringing. And thanks for the comments and that. Some of the emojis were brilliant. Overall, I've got to be honest, mate. You know, I'm not the most overreactionary football fan. I kind of look at the game the way it is, and the bit of intensity. You're absolutely right, but this has got to be treated as its own game in the sense of Lukaku. Right, I agree. Bullied Arsenal. That's not really the best example, because the way Arsenal approached that was just so wrong. That yes, if you want to close down Lukaku quickly, that's what you do. But they kind of got caught in between. I don't know. Listen, Kieran Tierney's been very good left back. I have no idea what he's doing for Reece James' goal. Don't know why you'd think you're half an hour later and then you still go and try and chase Lukaku and leave your side massively open. Not got a clue. However, today, I feel like you've got two options with Lukaku. You're not going to fight him. Van Dijk's a colossus, but he's not going to put himself one-on-one with Lukaku in the sense of, like, you know, to outmuscle me. Van Dijk's smarter than that. So I feel like you either need to smother Lukaku when he gets it, or stop at the source, i.e. Jorginho. And I feel like that's why Firmino's got picked today. We spoke about this during the week with Phil Egan, who was on the midweek fix. Shout out to Jamie's show. And he was saying that he feels like Firmino might be dropped in for that reason. And it looks like Phil might be proved right, because that was a good shout. And it seems like that's the reason he's playing Firmino. I'm feeling okay, mate. I'm feeling good. I feel like last week, Lukaku has always scored goals in the Premier League. Am I fearful? No, I respect him, but I feel like we've got enough. And with Van Dijk, and especially Matip, being able to support Van Dijk recently, how good he's been, I feel like we'll be confidence is the wrong word, but we can beat this team. It's not an unbeatable fixture. You know what I mean? It's
totally agree.
There's a lot of good players. I thought Mason Mount's looked very good recently, to be honest. But we can beat them. We've got a great team as well, and it's one of them, Daz. It's like, do we think about them so much, or do we think about ourselves, how good we can be?
I think
it looks like the latter, to be honest. That's why
I think it's like a game of chess, this one, isn't it? It's going to be like a game of chess. So this is so tactical. As I did mention, look, intensity, Gioli are going to need all that. Absolutely. This is at the very high elite level. But Lukaku is a game changer, I think. I think he's been a good sign about Chelsea, what they need. Big shout out, Chris. But look, very experienced Lukaku. I was on a stream yesterday and I'd mentioned he's Belgium's most ever cap player. He's just too short of 100. He's been in different leagues. He's done brilliant going to Serie A, winning title. But it's a difference there at Inter Milan than it is coming to Chelsea with the expectation, the demands, the pressure. And this is a game where all the pressure's going to be on him. I think Matip and Van Dijk there, I think unbelievable partnership. Very, very experienced, very composed, very compact. We know about Van Dijk, calm as you like. And look, again, similar, Matip is so calm as well. I've always said about Matip, he'd miss 6 months of football, come in, and for 3 or 4 games after that consistently be a rock and he'd be man of the match. He's just an unbelievable world-class player. Unfortunately, just isn't available enough for us with injuries, but hopefully this season we see a turnaround and all of that with more availability. But I'm okay with the lads at the back with Trent, Robbo there. Robbo coming back in. It's a great game for him to come in. I think Simicast done well, but he's not a Robbo. Robbo's experience up for these games. As I mentioned,
what's your initial thoughts on Robbo coming right back?
I expected it. I expected it, to be honest with you. Look, Andy Robertson's world class. He's been there. He's won it. He's proven it. Simicast has come in as a deputy for Robbo, and he has done well. There was times where he was a little bit shaky, but he's going to be. He'd only 6 minutes Premier League experience before that in a whole season. He came in 2 high-pressured games where everything was on him, and he had to do well. And to be fair, he did. I think he is a good backup for Robbo. But look, a big game, you need your big players. And Andy Robertson, I think, being on the bench for Burnley was a huge indication to me that he was going to start today. So no surprise there. The only surprise is Elliott. But it'd be intriguing battle. I mean, Sky are hyping this up. It's Lukaku against Van Dijk. And it mightn't be as much as it's made out to be. But we'll see what happens. But look, when you verge back, you've Matip there and you've Alisson behind you and you feed Fabinho in front of that back four. You're confident, aren't you? I think you have to be in the big games.
Yeah, no, absolutely, mate. And I feel like it's, as you said, Rollo coming back on was kind of expected. I think we said it in a few group chats this week, that really, you think, being on the bench for Burnley, it was probably obvious that he was going to start this game. And it's also a massive game as well. Be an interesting battle down the side with Reece James, who we can't deny, as much as Liverpool fans want to say, listen, Trent's a different level, but Reece James is a very, very good right back. And he's going from strength.
Sorry there, Conroy just went there, folks. He's gone off a bit. I think he was mentioned there, Reece Jones. He's obviously one of the, he's up and coming, unbelievable fullback. But I think with Alexander-Arnold, I think there's only one person there. Isn't there a fullback? Like, I remember going back before where there was a bit of a banter with Gary Neville and Carragher, and Carragher mentioned no one wants to grow up and be a Gary Neville, but everybody wants to grow up and be a Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's the modern day fullback, dominates that position. And I actually seen a stream that Conroy was on today regarding Trent, and Gav mentioned that, and a couple of the lads, it might have been Jamie Home, might have been the midweek one, can't remember now, there's so many have been watching. But why would Trent want to play in midfield when he can see everything? He's so dominant, and he's with the assist he gets and how good he is in that right flank, and not only defending but going forward. He's just been unbelievable. So yeah, I was just touching on a bit there. Is Conroy still there? Is he gone again? He might be gone. It might be a bit of Wi-Fi playing up there in Scotland, in the Highlands there. But look, I suppose we'll get Conroy back in today. My thoughts today are I just can't wait. I'm buzzing. Keep throwing in the comments there, everybody. It's great to see them. Look, it's a 50-50 game, this one. It's really a toss of a coin, this one, how it can go today. But I just always feel Liverpool at home, because there's been, I think I seen a stat 520 something days without fans at Anfield for a competitive game. It's all well and good at friendlies, but this just means so much with football back and fans back. And I think fans not only have missed the players, but the players have most certainly missed the fans being around at Anfield. And I think that will just give them that bit of lift today. It's always needed, no matter how good you are, because no doubt players are as nervous as fans are coming into these big games. Anything much? Sorry, Conroy. Yeah, I was just going on there.
No, I don't know. Listen, mate. My internet. Apologies, folks. I don't know what happened there. I think someone had cut the cable there, because I don't know what happened. It just kind of went in and out. That's never happened before. So apologies, folks. That was very strange. But yeah, no. On that, so it's mentioned obviously Robbo, the midfield, and we spoke about Lukaku a little bit, and obviously Big Verge. But just in with reference towards the game, just in the comments as well, what do you think who do you think will be a key player today if Liverpool can get the result? And who do you think who's going to be your game changer? Obviously Jota's on the bench. So do you think Firmino will have quite a big impact, maybe focusing on playing him with Jorginho?
I think Jota on the bench today. I was foregone. I was on a stream yesterday with Sean, the LFC Daytrippers, and I think I was kind of advocating more for Jota to start because of what he's done for us, the goals he's got, how cutthroat he's been, how unbelievable the revelation he's been since he's come in. But I think it was just the type of game that Firmino gets chances and he can be wasteful at the best of times. Now, we seem to see a little bit different this season. The chance he gets at Norwich, he scores. Look, I don't know. It's a hard one. I can understand with Bobby coming in, because Bobby's not just fits the system brilliantly. He is the system for ball retention, for getting back, for doing what he does best. He's not brought into this team to get us goals. So I think sometimes there's a narrative that because he's not your typical number 9, but he's not brought in to do that. I'm okay with it. I think he's a big game player. He's proven, Bobby. I think like last season, there was a drop off with him, but there was with a lot of players. I don't want to talk too much about last season, but this is a new season, and I expect Bobby today to do what he does best. And I think the 3 lads up front are very reliable, very experienced. Mane and Salah are interlinking great, a lot of interaction with them. And look how good has Salah been. I mean, he's so cool. He's just smooth. And there's a stat coming in today, Conroy. He's on 98 late goals. Only Henry, I think it's Shearer, Kane, Aguero have gotten to 100 quicker than he's gotten. So that just sums it up. You know what I mean? I think he's sometimes a bit underrated.
He's missed enough chances. He should have scored already.
And I've learned to accept with Mo. I think, look, he misses the most easiest chances, but will score the most hardest and just turn it on then and get unbelievable goals. And I think you also mentioned before, you just have to accept that with him. It is what it is. But he could be key today. Yeah, he could be key today.
Just accept it. Don't stress out. Don't use logic. Just accept that's the way he is. That's why he is here in his career, and that's why it works. That's what I do. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be. I hope it's not one of them, because some players they end up on 90 odd and they never get to 100 for they go on a drought for a bit. So I don't think that'll be the case with Mo. So hopefully he can get to that 100 today. That would be lovely. But on the match as well. I know we touched on Lukaku a little bit, Daz, but see Van Dijk, Lukaku, a lot of people are saying, Burnley, Norwich, but this one's going to be the big test. This one's going to be the one we're going to, the acid test. We're going to see where Big Verge is in the sense of before his injury, he just, the level, and I think he is there, but it's obviously a massive injury. So today is really going to be a good nod to see where he is in his recovery. What's your thoughts on that, and how do you think he'll get on today?
I'm expecting him just to hit the ground running. I think in the 2 games, there was tests, there was challenges for him in it. I think because people are probably being a bit disrespectful because it was just Norwich and Burnley, but he still got through them 90 minutes, I think, without breaking a sweat from what I'm saying. There's 48 games where Van Dijk has played at Anfield. We've won 43 and drawn 5. That says so much about the classes he's been. He's an unbelievable record at Anfield. I don't expect that to change today. But look, it is a question, I suppose, that's worth raising, because he is only being back after such a damaging long-term injury. He seems to have bounced back brilliantly. But I just think with Van Dijk, he's just a cut above the rest there. He is a class as a Rolls Royce, world class, the best centre-half there is in world football, in my opinion. Anyway, I think a lot of people would agree with that. There wouldn't be much of an argument against it. today will be a test against Lukaku. But I think with Matip being alongside him there, where you get the best out of Van Dijk, he'll be relishing this just as much as anybody. I don't think we'll see anything different than what we used to see now, Van Dijk. I hope not today, but I think this will certainly be the biggest test for him since he's come back, because as good as Norwich and Burnley would have been for him, and a nice test to just start off, I think we had 2 good games to just get him into grips, get him back together, get him back into fitness and to game time. And he did play a big part in pre-season as well. So yeah, I think it's one to watch in anyway, Conroy, certainly. What's your thoughts on it? Do you think, like, I think you might agree in some sense as well, do you? Or is this this a game?
The thing is, before I think someone cut my internet with axe earlier, I was going to say that I actually watched a bit of Lukaku and Inter, and what I mean by that is, I'll get on to Dynamo Kev's point in a sec, that he's always scored goals in the Premier League. Can never take that away from him. Man United didn't play him right, and we don't really talk about why Manchester United sold him. That's probably a mistake in itself. But anyway, he's got leaner, he's changed his game. He's always been good at running from the right, but you could probably say at times he was a bit heavier, not overweight, but just heavier at times. But he's always had, actually, he's been quite sharp. But now I feel like he'll probably try and test Van Dijk out wide today if it comes to that, going down the wide areas and taking it to feet. I feel like it's not going to be a case of Arsenal, Pablo Mari just played into his hands. You don't try and fight with Lukaku. You're always going to lose that battle. It's like, I remember Jamie Carragher said about Lovren, he's too macho for his own good. See, he can't accept that he's not as strong as someone, and then that's how he made mistakes. Harry Kane, the prime example of that, tries to get in a tussle and ends up fouling him. Van Dijk's obviously a lot smarter than that. Ironically, that against Burnley, when Van Dijk had to make that sliding tackle in the last minute and everyone's celebrating, I was fuming, and Van Dijk will be fuming, because for it to get to that situation, he'll say that it's actually been poor in the phase he played before that, because he doesn't actually slide it unless it's last ditch, obviously. And that's why I think Van Dijk's a step ahead of the centre-backs below him, because Diaz, brilliant centre-back, but it is like that. It's blocks all the time, whereas I think Van Dijk, intelligence-wise, he's ahead of it. He reads the game so well. So I think he will come out and talk, mate, but I do think we need to be on it. I'm not going to sit here and say unanimously that the wrong word, can't pronounce that there, that definitely that Lukaku is not going to cause Van Dijk problems and he's going to sail through it. I do think it's going to be a battle, but I think he can, and especially with the form of Matip, I feel like we can get through it, and then the attack, we can get through the game. As I say, I don't think it's going to be a free scoring one. I think it'll be quite a low scoring one. And with that, Daz, what's your score prediction?
I think this is a really tough one to make, because we're coming against the current European champions. The side that Tuchel came in January, gets them into the top 4, although they just about done that. Gets them to an FA Cup final, wins the Champions League against a side that were dead on from a lot of people to win it in City. He's done really well there defensively. They're so strong. They're so well drilled. They're compact. They're composed. They're just so organised. And they will relish coming to Anfield today. I've seen Klopp and Tuchel have come head-to-head more than they have against anyone else. But Klopp has had 9 wins out of 15 times they've come head-to-head. I'm going to go for Liverpool win, because they're at home, because it's the 4th season. We win our first 3 opening games of the season. We break that record. And obviously because I'm a Liverpool fan. But I think Chelsea fans... This is a game where every Chelsea fan will be confident, and it's a game where every Liverpool fan, I think, will be confident. It's just so tight coming into it. I'm going for Liverpool to win 2-1. Look, it could be
Liverpool fans conceding goals. I think I'm the only Liverpool fan who never wants to concede goals in a prediction, but everyone else is like, goal, concede a goal. But fair enough, mate.
I suppose. But look, I think Chelsea have a good attack today with Mount, Lukaku, Havertz there. Havertz getting into those.
Mount has been outstanding, by the way. Honestly, I can't understand Chelsea fans who didn't rate him highly. Mount's superb.
Yeah, he got a great goal against us last season as well, didn't he? Remember, Werner's was ruled offside. So, yeah, look, I just think with their attacking prowess, I think Liverpool, there'll be goals from both teams today, Liverpool to win 2-1. What's your score prediction? Are you giving us a clean sheet, or are you...
Well, just to say to the chat, see if you put your score predictions. I know a few of you have already. If you just put some more in and we'll check that, we'll run through that. I know Finner said 1-0 VVD header. I think I'll go for 1-0. I'll copy Finner's and I'll say I think it'll be 1-0. But I'm going to not say to VVD. I'll say either Sadio Mane or Joe Matip header. 1-0. I love a 1-0. I'd love a 5-0, but I don't want us to concede. That's the main thing.
Yeah, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to start for the international break, of course, 3 big
Oh
games
yeah,
and not
hate international
concede.
breaks, man. Hate games
Yeah,
before international break. Just it's like you're not feeling you go to school when you're Sunday night and it's just horrible.
I know. Yeah, I hate
Rugby
it. I hate
football.
this time of the year now.
Just back and it's away again.
Yeah,
But Dynamo Kiev, great shout, mate. I was going to mention this actually earlier, Daz. He said if Lukaku comes deep, you've obviously got one of the best CDMs in the world, if not the best, to deal with that, which is obviously a great asset for us. And that's a very good shout, Kev. And that might be the case. I do think Lukaku has improved in the sense of that in Italy there is some teams who try different things with him. So it's going to be a good battle. But I feel like obviously with Matip and Van Dijk and Fabinho to add to that,
yeah.
you've got it's
I'm
a great.
I'm also surprised to see that Alonso started ahead of Chilwell in this game, knowing how much Salah and Trent could exploit him down there. I was on a stream yesterday with
It's a
Chelsea
free at the
fans.
back, isn't it? Well,
Yeah,
he's a Premier League winning left wing back, mate. So
yeah.
he's a
No,
left wing
he
back,
is.
and he's good.
I was on a stream yesterday with a couple of Chelsea fans, and then they were more advocating for Chilwell to start. They felt they were probably a bit concerned if Alonso starts, but look, we'll see how it goes.
No, it's a great point, mate. But I think the
Yeah,
problem with Alonso is he's no good at tracking runners defensive. Maybe that might be the case, but I do feel like he offers more in attack, or he has recently anyway. I don't watch
yeah,
Chelsea every week, so don't get me wrong. I think Kev Ball says he isn't great. He is great going forward. That's the thing is, in a free, Victor Moses right wing back, Marcus Alonso left wing backs in Conte's team, and they won the Premier League with that way. So I can understand because you can maybe say that Alonso's going to put a threat on Trent. If Trent's bombing up as well, which he does, he kind of plays the cat and mouse game. Alonso's going to do the same. But you might be right there, Daz. It's an area to exploit, especially with Elliott maybe in previous times against
yeah.
Burnley, moved to the right-hand side to let Trent get in that space. So it's going to be interesting.
Hopefully, yeah. And it was, I think as well as Rudiger sent it back today with Christensen, but I mean Rudiger has been really transformed since Tuchel has come in. He's been brilliant for them, so it'll be interesting to see how they get on. But that centre back pairing was very good at Anfield last season. But having saying that, a lot of centre backs were really good at Anfield last season when they beat us in that game 1-0. I just thought they gave it absolutely everything. They probably just got Chelsea over the line that game as much as Mount was really good and got the goal, but they played a big part in it because there was times last season where our pressing was brilliant against them, but again, we were a little bit pedestrian.
They played a high line against them.
Yeah,
that was not smart against one of the fastest players in the league. But that wasn't a great management, let's be honest. But listen, the team was depleted, but still, I think that was before we decided, we can't play a high line anymore because we've not got the sort of players who can do that. So that didn't exactly help against Chelsea, to be honest, mate. And I feel like if you're going to do that today, you've got the players in place. AC says Salah gets 2 to reach 3-1 Liverpool and Salah gets 2 to reach 100 Premier League goals. I hope so, mate. That would be amazing. And some 3-1s, 3-0s in there, 2-0, Salah with a brace. I'd love that as well. I just love a win, to be honest. I don't care if it hits the post and hits 3 Chelsea players and goes in.
Yeah,
just want a win because it's a huge game today.
Christensen on goal, that will do, last minute. But no, you're right, Conroy. Today, the most important thing is to get the 9 out of 9. It'd be unbelievable to keep another clean sheet. It'd be really the perfect start to the season. And then it also looks at where the team, it's 35 games to go after today, but with City at the dropping point, United, and then obviously if we won today, that'd be Chelsea. People would look at us now, all right, we've to get Liverpool even at an early stage, because some people say it's a marathon, not a sprint. I think sometimes in the Premier League, especially in these big games, and I think there's going to be certainly, in my eyes, in my opinion, this season, 4 title contenders that will be up and down all season. It's going to be more of a sprint than a marathon. I think you have to make the most out of these games. I don't think these are the games where you can be dropping too many points in.
Yeah, because they're going to be right on the season. I think they're going to beat each other. And even to add to that, Dad, sorry to interrupt me, but see, even other teams, like, what I mean by that is, I'm not saying a West Ham, or I don't know what the Leicester score was today. They've not started too great, but I'm not saying a West Ham are going to get in the top 4.
Against Norwich.
But West Ham look like they're a team who will cause. So see, when you play West Ham at London, it's went from being a poison chalice, that stadium, to, it's quite a good buzz now. So what I mean by that is going to play West Ham away from home. That's a challenging game now because they're in form. Antonio's in the form of his life. You've got a few teams now that I feel like you need to win these games because the teams at the top of the league are going to take different points off each other. So if you can get through them and even just not to lose, a bit of Jose Mourinho-esque, but if you can win them, it's unbelievable. I do feel you're right, mate. I feel like even with the last couple of days with United signing Ronaldo, which I'll just brush by that. That's this transfer window has been crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to change everything, but it's adding a player who's got the quality as well, which is the battles this year. Sky Sports are probably and BT are probably rubbing their hands together because the games are going to be outstanding. Because every week there's going to be a different, storyline to build the game up. It's going to be some season, and I think you're right, mate. I feel like you can't drop points right now. I want us to win. Can't afford to lose today. That's important. I'm not saying
especially us being at home. Yeah, especially us being at home. I think it's important. We've had a good start so far, but today is the big, as you said, the acid test. This is the big one. This is where all the pressure's on. And I just hope we do come through it and get the 3 points. Not more than that. I don't care how we do it, just once it's done. And it's just going to be electric, isn't it? Anfield from the get-go today for this big game. This is something they're all craving. 50,000 back at Anfield. I think last week was a bit of a warm-up to 12:30 kickoff. And no disrespect, was just Burnley as well. But 5:30 against one of the big teams.
The first half, it wasn't plain sailing. But again, we don't forget that.
Yeah.
Forget. I mean, McNeil had Trent done a couple of times. Trent was superb, though, in the second half and kind of balanced out to get man of the match. An amazing pass. But Burnley caused a few problems. People forget that Ashley Barnes, I think, heads it right at Alisson. Then we score 2 minutes later with Shimikasi's cross.
That's right. Yeah.
So
they fancy the first half. I think just that second goal in the second half done it for us. We probably should have had 2 before the half, but then they should have had goals too. So yeah, they did fancy it. And look, Chelsea will as well today. So we have to be on our A game today. There's no room for error today, I don't feel. And look, the only talking point I really think from today is the big one. That's Elliot coming in. But I mean, what a game for him to start in. He must be relishing it, I'm sure. And I know someone thrown in there a while ago in the comments that Klopp wouldn't start. We didn't feel he was up for it. And look, I agree for it. I'm not saying he's not, but just sometimes
I just don't think it's the right player for this game.
Yeah,
it's not about his age. It's not about if you feel like you're up for it. Because what players? I get the comment and I get the age thing. I'm not saying the age thing. I just think a Thiago
is not the right player.
Specifically suits this game better. And I hope I'm wrong. And I hope he does amazing. But he's played at one home game against Burnley. But I'm not even talking about him. Forget Harvey Elliott. It's just the type of player he is.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
Thiago would have suited this game better. However, you know what? Like, I hope it works out. And obviously, Klopp's close to being a genius, to be honest, with this type of stuff. However, he's done stuff in the past, like the 4-2-3-1 against City at Etihad. Didn't really work out with the 4. So he's not got an impeccable record for this. But I hope it works out. Keita obviously against Madrid, but maybe that's a bad example because the team was quite depleted then. But I hope it works out, and I hope the kid does wonders today. I hope he has a Blackburn in his performance he did last year, maybe 3 assists and a goal. That would be amazing.
It would be, what a start for the kid.
Listen, I'll be bouncing for him and hope he does really well. I'm just sorry, folks, it's just a kind of logical view I've got in my head. It's really easy to get buzzing with every news, but this Chelsea team should not be this. They're a good team. And hope he can perform in the midfield against them. But Daz, we'll stay on for just 2 more minutes just because we're a bit late coming, just for all the comments have been great.
Fair play to everyone.
Anything else you want to add, Daz?
Not really, just looking forward to it. Look, I know we're getting now, isn't it? It's past silly season at this stage with all the transfers. Couple of days left, Conroy. Are we going to do that now? It's Tuesday, it's getting closer, so the clock is ticking. Or will we know? Will it depend on how today's game goes? That we will look at, okay, we need someone there and we'll go out. But with all other clubs doing business, a lot of fans are reaching now that we should do something. And what do you think will happen?
Yes, I do think Bissouma will happen. If not Bissouma, someone else, but I do think Bissouma will happen because it's an official inquiry, isn't it? And listen, I'm not going to say I'm over the moon because I wanted an attacker in. However, I'm more a number 9. And if there's not a number 9 available, then don't waste money on someone who you don't think would fit us. So not for the sake of it, but I'd be delighted with Bissouma. I've said that before. I think he comes in, great acquisition. I'm kind of away from the Sol move, to be honest. Paying that much, 40 million and like $250,000 a week.
Wages.
No, thank you. No, thank you. Good player, very good player, but just not for me because I feel like that upsets the apple cart.
Well, Bissouma as well as Premier League experience, isn't he? Bissouma a bit younger, Premier League experience, and he's been.
He's young as well.
I'm very surprised there hasn't been more clubs in for him, or anyone hasn't got him at this late. But that might give more indication as that Liverpool have something in the pipeline and will do some late business from. That's what I feel from that. But yeah, I'd love a Basuma, absolutely. And I do think we get someone in before Tuesday's midnight drama, and it could be a great day. We've done it late in January, and we've done it a little bit late last year as well. Not this late, but we'll just wait and see. I don't know whether today's game will have any change of heart on who we sign.
Mate, to be
I don't
honest,
think so.
But what I would say is, Gav mentioned during the week, he said that there would be Basuma, see, because it's went quiet, it might be a case of it's maybe been organised behind the scenes already with a club, and that's why that it's just when a certain player goes, that player can come in. So that might be the case. As I say, it's finished saying Basuma's booked and lost 2-0 to our rivals. Does this fuel him further to join us? Fair point, mate, but I'll be honest, I feel like Everton have got, the money they've got in their squad as well, probably expected to win today. And on that, I'd say there's quite a good environment at Brighton, because even if you watch, Basuma just played last week and today. I think I said that before. I think Potter's created a good environment, so I don't think it's a desperate to leave. I know it was a tongue-in-cheek comment, Finn, but I feel like you can probably work with Brighton and end it amicably. You give them money they want, and you can start to have a good relationship, because I think Brighton breed good footballers from there because of their style. So it's a one to keep an eye on. But Daz, with that, the time being 15:15 now, need to get everyone to get their cup of tea.
Or get an annoying brew into you.
Yeah, or proper 12, as Dad say. Or I've got to get
proper 12, proper order.
Yeah, but Dad, where can the folks get you on social media?
So obviously social media, Darren Whelan 735 on Instagram. On Twitter, Darren Whelan 18. Don't ask me why I have all the numbers at the end of it. It's just what would let me create an account. And Daz TV on YouTube. Going to be doing some content coming up soon. It's just finding the time. Obviously, like yourself, Conroy, I've seen you've done a bit lately, so fair play to you. It looks to be great.
Not as much as Gav, though, on the day trip. I think Gav and Callum Sanderson work harder than anyone else.
They're doing a lot. They're doing a lot. So fair play to them. They're cutting their teeth for it now. They're doing so much work with it. But yeah, that's where everyone can get me. So if you just want regular Liverpool content, come and follow me. Conroy, you're on Conroy Talks, isn't it? YouTube?
Yeah, so Conroy Talks on YouTube, folks, and you can find me. So that's just on YouTube. It'll just be kind of football general content in there. Daz will be along sometimes, get different guests and different chat, and just similar sort of stuff, and be part of the community if you want to come over. Also, you can get me on Twitter at _Conroy H. So it's Conroy and the letter H. You can get me on Twitter. So just to shout out, after the game today, you have got, as Nevin Ball said, you've got the Red Sea podcast are doing the reaction. Great show. I think Thiago's father's on that as well. Really good stuff. So check them out. Brilliant. And you can hopefully get your very, 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 very good reaction, and it's not a raging reaction. So I hope so. And last comment, Avo Ford says, if you are, can Conroy bring Mr. Jingles? I'm not on, mate. I'll bring him next show. He's the Daytrippers mascot now. So we'll get him sorted soon. But to everyone, I'll just check on that. But to everyone, enjoy the game today, and we'll see you next time. So take care. And last thing, Daz, just before we go, mate, the last thing I was going to say is, subscribe to Manscaped again, and subscribe to Manscaped and check out Daytrippers, obviously. Excellent stuff, loads of shows every week, so check them out. So to everyone, take care and see you later. Bye-bye.